A lot of people were asking about this when I posted a picture on my Instagram story. Nah, I'll go over what I did, but the finished result turned out really good. It's gonna look good with the billet wheel in there. And then I also did the exhaust wheel, or the turbine housing, I should say. That turned out really good as well. So for the turbine housing on the exhaust side, I used this. Good up to 1200. No runs, no drips, no errors. So literally you can spray this as thick as you want and it will not run. It dries flat. As you can see, it turned out really good. And it'll definitely protect it from the rust. So check this out. Yeah, it dries really quick as well. So this is what I started off with. Rust-Oleum engine primer, good up to 500 degrees. So I just took the compressor housing off the turbo. I scuffed it down real good with Scotch-Brite and then laid this on. I probably did about, I would say 4 coats, and then I let it sit outside about 24 hours in the sun and just let it bake until it was dry, real smooth, and then just laid this on. Engine enamel, black, gloss black, and I probably did a coat, then waited 5 or 10 minutes, did another coat. I probably did about 5 or 6 coats of this, and then once again let it sit 24 hours overnight outside, and then I got a really good product, and I'll show you guys when I get the turbo bolted back on how good it looks. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. It's Friday. Little different scenery today. We're at Cecil County driveway instead of Capitol. Wanted to try something new and just check it out because I haven't been here since November, and I ran some good times in November, so we'll like to back that up. Really today I just don't want to fumble. I don't want any mistakes. And I have an old tune-up in here that I know what it'll run, and I know what it ran with that tune before, and I want to see if it backs it up. If it doesn't back it up, if it's that far off, then I think we got other issues going on, unfortunately. But the amount of boost I was running 2 weeks ago at the track, it should have been a lot faster than it was. So we'll see, you know, maybe it was just the air. I mean, today's not much better. It's pretty hot. It was supposed to be cool, but it's pretty hot. So, yeah, just driving through the pits right now, warming everything up. And then I'm going to do a little 2-step check and then head on up, get teched in, and make the first lap. All right, let's see if this thing will spool up or not. Too much timing pulled. Yeah, so that 2-step check was pulling way too much timing out, so I simmered it down a little bit. And we're gonna go up there and get teched in and then make our first rip. I've got 2 cameras with me today, so it should make for a good video. again in my truck doing a recap on everything. So the main goal of the testing tune was to get as many passes as possible and focus on consistency, getting it to leave, getting it to build boost and all that. I think I was getting a little bit too ahead of myself here lately. So I just want to take a step back, and taking a step back was putting an old tune in that I ran in November that ran a certain ET. So I just pretty much used that whole tune, and I wanted to see if it backed it up or not. And a lot of bad things happened in that pass, but there was some good. Good things being that it did a burnout. It built some boost on the two-step. I left at 4,000 RPMs at about 10 pounds, and it took about 5 seconds to build boost. It bumped in perfect, and it left decent. It wasn't what I wanted it to be, but it left okay after some suspension changes. So I think I got the suspension at a really good spot right now. Now the bad things are, it hit a rev limiter. My rev limiter was set at 7,600. I got back, I tried to look at the log, I couldn't find anything. And then I saw that the boost kind of fell off. So I checked some boost pipes, and there was one loose. I forgot to tighten one up after I painted the turbo. And another bad thing was I go to hook the laptop up, and I see that the 2 wires are coming out of my USB cable to the Holly. I need that to log, I need that to make adjustments and everything. Luckily, I found somebody that had a cable that he let me borrow just to load a tune. So I just loaded pretty much a real fast tune in there because I knew I wasn't gonna keep borrowing it from this guy all night. So thinking back, I probably should have just kept the mild tune just to work on that, just to try to go faster and faster on the same tune. But come to find out, we really didn't need to borrow somebody's cord because we were gonna splice a phone charger cable to that. But then we found out that there's 4 wires on the canvas USB connector, and only 2 of them are actually hooked up. The other 2 just stop. They don't go to nothing. They don't go to the USB, they don't go to the canvas connector. So I don't know what's up with that. I want to do some research on why it would be like that and why it's $65. But yeah, so that's a good thing. I got to use my cable. So once I realized that I wasn't going to have to borrow a cable, I put the same tune back in it that was supposed to run a certain ET, and I went up there and run again. Alright, going up for run number 2. Looks like on the first run I might have popped the boost pipe. I'm hoping that's what it is, but we'll find out right here. I got it pretty turned up. Not too much, but it's turned up. Hopefully it don't knock the tires off, but like I said, we'll find out. I just hope nothing's broken. That's what it felt like. It did a power wheelie. I felt it spun and I hit it again, and I felt the front end come up. Still a bad pass. I think I just left on a little bit too much boost, but you know, that's why I'm here. I'm trying to work on this. Seems like I've been failing a lot lately, but that's part of it. Just try to make the best of it. Try to get as many passes as possible. And most importantly, have a good time. I'm having a good time. So there we are, deja vu. Another bad pass. No shocker there. It spun really bad off the hit. I was leaving on 13 pounds and I ramped in 21, I think, and then I hit the scramble probably like 400 feet out or so. And it backed up to ET. It was a couple numbers off from the spin, but I think with the scramble it kind of evened it out. So I think we're good. Running the same amount of boost, it made the same pass pretty much, even with the spin. So definitely got to get the spin out of that. It's spinning way too hard. I figured I could leave on 13 pounds on a radio, but I guess not. But the good thing is it made the whole trip, so can't be too mad. At least it didn't hit the rev limiter, so we got that going for us. Yeah, this next pass coming up, I just turned the boost down on the leave, and then I had the ramp go up. So, all right, guys, up for another run. This one, I'll have to do a little recap to show you what I did or why I keep having boost first time issues. So I'll probably do a little cut scene of that, but this should be pretty spicy. So for a while now, I've been having problems with the boost coming in when it's supposed to come in. The yellow one here is target dome and the blue is the actual boost. So at the very peak, boost time is 0.76, 32 on the dome. But my boost doesn't go to where I want it to until right here, which is 1.74. So 1.74 versus 7.6, so it adds a whole second to the boost ramp. So I've played with the PIDs and all that, but I'll show you a log from this. Now look at it. Blue is boost, yellow is dome. It follows it where it needs to be, right there, all in at 0.94. And I think that all falls on this right here, the new V3 software boost versus time. I have to have it like this. Usually my numbers really aren't like that. They're more like something like this. But as you see, look, this is where the log is, and this is actual. So it's got a delay. Let me see if I can go back to how it was. Undo. See how the ball and the line up? And I made a post on a Holly forum, and a guy that works for Holly did say it's a bug, so they're working on it. But yeah, for the longest time, I've been fighting myself with getting the boost in faster. And no matter what I did, it just would not come in faster. So now I know, and I got to keep the numbers like that. So if anybody's got V3, you have to make sure these numbers are in order. You can't skip, you know, from 2 to 5. It has to be 0 to whatever in order. Doesn't have to be 3.75. It can be 1.5, as long as it's evenly separated to match these numbers. It'll follow it perfectly. I must have over revved it or hit some kind of safety again, and it aborted the whole run. So I might go back up there and do one more. We'll see. That thing hooked and went left real hard, but it hooked, so that's one good thing. 128 60 foot. Woo! Yes.
What a 740 65 mile an hour.
It definitely caught off before 3:30 because 4:0. Well, you guys are always saying I don't share times or show time slips, so there you go. I showed you my time slip. Well, that was really exciting. I've been trying to get that 60 foot pretty much since I've started racing the car because I knew it was possible. It was just how I was going to get there. I've been struggling so much lately to try to get the car to leave. So it was definitely a good feeling knowing that it went that fast to the 60 foot. To some, that's not that fast, but for me, that's been a goal for a while. So in my eyes, it is fast for what the car is and what it runs. That's a pretty good 60 foot. And it gives me some more motivation to keep going because it was getting pretty frustrating that the car kept spinning and all that. And I know the tires are shot. I got brand new Hoosiers that are just waiting to get put on. I think I'm gonna try to do that this week. So once again, it did it again. It hit the 7,800 rev limiter. What I believe happened is on that Hurst shifter, the pistol grip, there's a little screw where the lever is, and that screw's always loose. You can't tighten it or else the lever will not, you know, move back and forth. So I'm always tightening it up because I'm scared it's gonna fall out. Well, I think just that day I was making it a little bit too tight, so when I shifted it into second, it wasn't engaging second. So that wasn't a rev limiter or a safety or anything. That's me revving it out in first gear, shifting it into second, which is pretty much neutral, and going to the moon. So definitely not good. I got lucky that I didn't break something or blow something up. In the future, I'll just make sure that that bolt doesn't get too tight. So right there, that was leaving on 9.5 pounds, and I was at 23 pounds right at the 60 foot. So now I know how to get it to leave harder, because before, these boost ramps were 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. No matter what I did, I could have the boost coming in at 0.25 and it would still come in at like 2 seconds. If I could only get that car to make it down without going into neutral, that would have been a personal best. But we got one more pass of the night, and here it is. All right, guys, here we go. Fourth and final run. The last run, I hit a rev limiter at 7,800. So now, I raised it to 8,000, but I need to remember to shift. I was short shifting, and I got it in my head not to short shift. Now, I'm not shifting at all, so we're going to get it figured out. This is the last one. I got to make it count. I'm going to try to be calm and just do my thing.
That time.
The best the car's ever ran right now, and I lifted because I got scared because I don't trust these brakes. I almost want to go back up. 33.
Mine, I figured I was wrong on mine too.
What's that?
Mine's dropping RPM.
Oh, really?
Well, that was the last pass of the night, and it was a personal best. Personal best, 60 foot from the pass before. Personal best, 330. Personal best, 8th mile ET, M mile an hour. Personal best, 1,000 foot. Personal best, quarter mile with letting out early. And I'm still mad at myself for letting out early, because that would have been a really good number if I stayed in it longer. Still spun really bad off the line like crazy, but it was cool. I still got personal best across the board pretty much. So that shows it's definitely got potential. That pass left on 9.5 again. And after the 60 foot, I probably had 24 pounds in it. And then I hit the scramble in all of high gear, and that was almost 29 pounds. So I should have just ran it out the back, but I really don't trust them brakes, like I said. But regardless, I had a really good time at Cecil. It was nice to go there for a change. We'll definitely go back when I get the slicks mounted. Probably make another track day or two, and then we'll get to the fun stuff, the challenges and all that. There is a couple things I want to do, like I want to put the bar angles back to the stock location, because it's just separating too much, too fast. I don't have a shock to control that right now. I got 10 way, so unless there's some way I can get some coilovers in time, I'll probably just put it back to stock location. I appreciate you guys hanging out and watching the video. Hope you all enjoyed all the racing action lately. Been trying to go to the track as much as possible just to get the videos out there and get seat time and confidence in the car. And for being a tin can piece of junk, it is a sketchy ride, but it's fun. It gets your adrenaline pumping, and for some reason the car's never scared me or had me think it was going to go into the wall or anything like that. It's always been straight as an arrow no matter what, except on that third pass. It went hard left, but I think I was just facing left. But yeah, I think that's everything, and I will see you guys next time. Enjoy your week.